Hey folks, Matt Sharp here with another Pacific Angler Friday Fishing Report. We're filming for November 6th, so if it's nowhere near November 6th, click up here. This is a link to all the Friday Fishing Reports. We probably have something more up to date for you. This week, I hope you guys enjoyed your Halloween, had a safe Halloween. Remembrance Day is coming. I'm gonna wear my poppy soon, haven't got it yet. And I bet you guys have been all sitting back and eating popcorn and enjoying the full contact sport that is US politics, but we're obviously here for the fishing. And this week, I've got a good one for you guys. I've got a cool product. You guys have probably gotten used to being damp and mildly cold over the last 2 to 3 weeks of very interesting up and down fall weather. I'm gonna share with you guys a product, and I don't usually pitch products out here, but this is one that I've used for years, is goofy, is not going to win any fashion awards, but is my happy spot when it comes to beating a cold or wet day. We're gonna look at that right off the hop when we get into the main part of the report. Now, I'm also gonna talk about the water levels because that piece of clothing comes with the weather that we're seeing. We've obviously been hit pretty hard with the rain. We've seen spikes on all the major river systems. We've seen spikes on the Harrison, spikes on the Vedder, spikes on the Squamish. They are all unfishable as I'm filming this. And we're gonna look at how they should come down through this weekend and how we got cold weather coming up. And so we'll talk about that, how that's going to affect you guys, because we are in November, but it's still a great time to get out salmon fishing, and there's still a lot of opportunities to fish, depending if you can play the weather correctly for your days off. Also, the Fraser is open for bar fishing, finally. We're gonna have links down in the description to the written version of the report for all the details on that. And last but not least, it has been confirmed, if you guys read last week, that chum fishing is closed for angling. You can still fish for coho when it comes to the Squamish system, and we're not really happy about it. We are going to be working to figure out why this has happened. I'm gonna share a couple of the details at a very 1,000-foot level that were surrounding this decision that we think is fundamentally wrong when it comes to how you manage a fishery. As always, guys, you want to see more reports like this, consider hitting the like button, hit the subscribe button. Let's get into her. All right, welcome everybody. I am drinking Land Shark beer. I picked it up myself. I'm not gonna recommend it, but it's not bad. It's kind of light. It's kind of like fizzy water that tastes like beer, and it's cheap, and they call it an island lager. It does kind of remind me of being somewhere warm, which is somewhere I wish I was when it came to November days like we're seeing right now. But the product I wanted to share with you guys, now, you guys know that I don't like to promote a ton of product on this. This is not the point. We obviously do sell fishing product. I do sell this, but I don't want to make this channel about that 100%. That said, this product is new, but it's a spin on an old favorite. And so I got a story with this. About, I want to say 8 or 9 years ago, a really good friend, the late Ron Hjorth, was working here, and I was guiding on the Squamish pretty full time, meaning I would be doing 6, 7, maybe even 8 days in a row up there. And I was in the stretch from hell, meaning it had rained like 30 millimeters every single day, but it had gotten cold enough in the nights, so the fishing was still good, but it was just a deluge every day getting hit. At the point where I was wearing 2 waterproof jackets because there was just no way even good Gore-Tex could hold up to 20, 30, 40 millimeters non-stop. All my stuff was wet. Ron said, Matt, I've got something for you in my kit. He used to be a Sims rep. He handed me this hat. It made me look like Elmer the Fudd. I'm gonna put it on for you guys, but it's super goofy. You're gonna love this. But this thing is probably the worst fashion piece you can wear, but it's not actually that bad, and they've made some improvements on it. So it used to be a little bit puffier, and it used to be a little bit heavier, so it was a little bit more obnoxious. But right now, it feels exactly like a hat. But this is completely waterproof, so the rain doesn't get in at all, and it keeps you really, really warm on the cold days. When it comes to any piece of clothing that I can put on to immediately become way warmer and way drier, this is the one that I turn to, even though I look kind of like Elmer Fudd in it. So I can't recommend it enough. If you guys are out there, if you guys are struggling through the weather, this is a game changer. And this year, they changed it a bit on us. They lightened it up inside, so they did this cross thatching, which is great. It used to be sort of a soft fleece, and I won't lie, it sometimes got damp if you weren't paying attention to it, and that was sort of gross against your skin. This is a great idea, and it's also less thick. The old one was really, really thick and really like an Elmer Fudd hat, but this is pretty tight to your head, and it sort of slims down. So fully recommended. This is the Sims Gore Extreme Cap. And we've got them here at the shop. If we run out, because a few of you guys come in, I do have a bunch more on order as well, so put your name down. This one's gonna last you well right through the winter and change those miserable days into a pretty manageable day when you're out there. Okay, sales pitch gone. I won't talk about that anymore, but I wanted to share that one with you guys. Let's talk the weather. So with the warm cap in mind, when we pull up the Squamish, we've obviously been getting smoked with weather this week, and it's going to stop. That's good. So I'm filming Wednesday night. Thursday, we've got a 2 to 4 mil, so it's going to continue to drizzle. That cap will be nice, but it is going to get cold. Friday is -1, Saturday -2, -3, and then back up to 1 on Monday. These are all nighttime temperatures. So my gut is that is going to suck up the river a ton. Now it needs to be sucked up a ton, because when we pull up the real-time hydrometric graph here for Squamish, you can see she's vertical. She's over a 5-meter realm, and as we discussed last week, and that was confirmed, Andre was out, a bunch of the guys was out. It was dirty water, but fishable at sort of a 3.5. It dropped down when it was getting into that below 3 range. It fished quite nicely, and I would guess anything over a 4, 4.5 at this point is going to be a challenge to fish, if not unsafe. And yeah, 5 is going to be unsafe, but I expect that to plummet with the cold temperatures that are coming. So watch it. If it's pushing through 3.6, it's go time. If it's in the 3 range, you're laughing. But if it's still hovering at this 5, I'd chill out, drag your heels, do the laundry at home, maybe score some brownie points. Throw that out to the other systems, and when we look at the Chilliwack and the Harrison, it's much the same. Here's the Chilliwack. She has spiked as well, and so it's out as we speak, not really fishable, but the guys I'm talking to are optimistic that maybe Saturday it will be back into shape, and you could even look at it Friday if you've got some back channel spots or some spots that don't get as much current with heavy flow. That said, Sunday should be great, and looking into next week looks really good if you guys are planning a little bit farther out. Now, Harrison is another one. It's jumping up. It's always fishable, but these levels at sort of a 9.45 and spiking are going to be a challenge to hike around in. So make sure you consider that if you're going out. Be safe when you're on that system. It can spike quite substantially quickly and make sort of running around in the back channels, the back sloughs, more of a challenge than normal. So long story short, watch the river levels. The second this comes down, I expect it to be the last major push of salmon coming into all our rivers. A lot of these systems will go right into the back end of November. November 10th, for example, on the Harrison is probably one of my favorite time frames, which is coming up this weekend. And then for Squamish, the same thing. We're going to roll right into bull trout egging season, which is coming up. We'll have some videos for you guys on that front. But long story short, go fishing this weekend if you can get it off. Just dress warm, expect for cold or wet weather. Let's talk about the Squamish for a bit. So I'm not going to do a big update on this. There are guys who are focused on this, who understand the political issues much better than I, that are weighing in on this. But I did want to share with you guys, there was a meeting and it did go over things, and there were some hard questions asked, and the hard questions were, is it closed? And the answer is yes to chum fishing, no to coho fishing. So you can fish for coho, catch and release. It's a very similar method. If you are catching chum, release them respectfully and carry on your day. The question was asked of why this closure happened, and it was a lack of data or a concern for fish numbers. They have not done studies to confirm those. They have no plans to do studies to confirm those. This is very, very alarming. If they plan to do studies or had done studies, I think the people that wanted to close it had a leg to stand on, but they haven't, and they do not plan to. This is something we need to bring to all our politicians' eye, and we also need to support the Public Fisheries Alliance as well as the Sports Fishing Institute and all those who are putting in time. There's a bunch of people that are trying to put in time to make sure that our public fisheries are respected. When there's a conservation issue, we will respect that conservation issue. When there is not a conservation issue, or there isn't a way to prove a conservation issue, both those things need to be addressed, meaning the government/fisheries needs to do some research, learn more about the fishery that they're paid to manage, and at that point, when those numbers come in, we will be the first to put up our hands if we can help those fisheries. I'm not going to be able to tune in with you guys next week. I'm going to take a week off, but I will be tuning back with you guys then. And as always, you want to see more reports like this, consider hitting the like button, hit the subscribe button. We'll catch you 2 weeks from now.